everybody, and happy February, happy Black History Month, and happy Love Month. Honestly, I like to think of February as the month of love just because Valentine's Day is in February, and also Galentine's Day, which is like the female friendship version of Valentine's Day. This year, I'm super excited because I'll be hosting my very own Galentine's Day party here in my place. And as I'm planning it, I just thought, why not share how I usually plan my events, whether it's Galentine's Day or a housewarming that we did last year or a birthday party in general. I have a general 5 steps that I go through that is applicable for any party that you might be planning this year, but also specifically for Galentine's Day since that's the next holiday that I plan to celebrate. If you're interested in these steps, continue watching. So the first thing I do when I am planning a party of any kind is first decide on the vibe. What type of party do you want to have? Do you want something low-key and chill, or do you want something more formal and dressy? The type of vibe that you're going for will determine a lot of things regarding the party, such as the location that you have it. If it's more chill, of course you can have it in your apartment, in your house, something a little bit more casual and informal. Versus if you want something more formal, that might mean renting a hall, that might mean in a restaurant, that might mean somewhere that is a little bit more formal itself. And also knowing the vibe will help you decide on the budget, because again, something a little bit more formal will then mean more money versus something that is more laid back, more low-key. And that brings me to the second step, and that is to decide on your budget. How much are you willing to spend and on what? How much are you willing to spend on food, drinks, the location, decorations, the invitations perhaps? Literally anything that you can think of that you might have to pay for a party. Think about how much you're willing to spend on those things and what you're willing to spend overall, because we don't have unlimited budgets here. I mean, some people do, but for the average person, we probably don't have an unlimited budget, and that's okay. But how we use that budget and how we allocate funds specifically within that budget will determine whether or not we can have a big party or a small party, have this amount of guests or a smaller amount of guests, have extravagant balloon garlands and catered food versus cooking food or ordering takeout. Definitely think about how much you can spend and then how much you want to spend on these different areas of the party. The third step is to decide on the specific food, drinks, and decorations you plan to have at your party. Food is very much a part of the vibe for any party, and honestly 9 out of 10 times people come to parties to eat. So please do keep that in mind. If the party is whack, otherwise the food is good, people might still have a good time. So definitely focus on the food. Again, keep that budget in mind. Doing something that is catered, like for our housewarming, we did a catered meal for about 50 guests. That was a lot of money, and that was just like buffet style, right? If you did a plated dinner, that's even more money because you're paying per person versus cooking your own food might be a lot cheaper, but of course you're exchanging money for labor because you're gonna have to do a lot of prep work on top of like putting up decorations and doing other things. You could think about takeout. For my Galentine's Day party, I am going to order pizza, wings, and salad because that's the low-key vibe that I'm going for. It's gonna be about 8 to 10 of us ladies in there in my apartment. So that's what I'm deciding to do. Also, think about the drinks. Drinks also add to the vibe. Now, if you're not a drinker, that's perfectly fine, but you do still have to decide which types of non-alcoholic drinks that you want. Sodas or juice. Always have water, no matter what. Always have water bottles, always have water available, more than you even need. And water is something that, like, even if no one drinks it at your party, you still need water at your house, and so you can always use water versus something that you may not drink. Like, personally, I don't drink soda, so whenever I have a party and have leftover soda, it probably goes to waste. So definitely keep water on deck and decide which types of juice, soda, and alcoholic drinks that you want to offer. My personal recommendation, outside of always having water, is to choose some type of fruit juice. Also choose a clear soda, and what I mean by clear is like a Sprite or ginger ale, something that's not Pepsi or Coke. Dark soda, no. Not everyone drinks that, and honestly, those are the worst types of soda to drink, period. And then for alcoholic drinks, wine, a cheap wine is definitely the way to go. It gets you tipsy really quickly, which is kind of what you want for a party, and also it's very affordable. And most people, even if they're not drinkers like me, do drink wine, so you're definitely safe with that. And if you do want to pick up a hard liquor just to add to the fun, I suggest something like a Casamigo, some kind of tequila or vodka, 1 bottle if you're having a small group. And of course, those bottles do last long, so if you don't finish it or don't even use it, you can still have it for future parties, birthdays, whatever. And last in this category is to decide on decorations. You do not have to go extravagant, especially if your vibe does not call for it. For my personal party in my apartment, I'm not doing a lot of decorations. I'm putting up some like string fringe, like the ones that you hang up on the walls and come down. I'll insert a picture here. I'm having those because I had those decorations for my housewarming, so I'm just going to use that then. I'm going to buy a few balloons and I'm probably going to blow up myself. I have a balloon pump. You can pick them up on Amazon. I'll leave a link down below, but you can definitely blow up balloons yourself, hang them up. And I bought some like kitchen towels and just little things that are not that expensive just to decorate my place, just because my place is already nice. It's already decorated because it's an apartment and our vibe is very low-key, very chill anyway, so people shouldn't be coming expecting too much. But of course, if you're having a bigger, more formal event, definitely think about how if you're having a formal event, you should set the stage. And usually catering halls or places like that are blank slate, so you would have to invest a little bit more in decoration. That might mean a balloon arch, that might mean a pastry dessert table. All of those cost money, but you can also do them yourself, and there's lots of videos on YouTube on how to do that, as well as buying the equipment and stuff from Amazon. And I'll leave links of balloon arches that are Valentine's Day themed down below, just so you can have it for reference. But decide on your decoration. Think about your color scheme. For Valentine's Day, it's usually pink and red, like my top here. I'm going for pink and blue just because my apartment has a lot of blue decor. But think about how you want to decorate. Choose those decorations. Make sure they fit under your budget. Choose the food. Make sure that fits under your budget. And choose the drinks and see if that fits under your budget. I will add a tip here that depending on how your budget is, you can also consider doing a potluck situation, which would include your guests bringing something to the party. Now, it does not have to be food. Because of COVID times, I understand you don't want food from anybody or everybody. So it could just be a dessert, maybe a store-bought item. It could be a drink or cups or utensils, whatever else. You can definitely do that. And honestly, when people bring stuff to an event, I feel like they are more invested in the event because they went out, bought something, like they're ready to have a good time because they've invested something into it. So definitely don't be afraid to do that, especially if these people are your friends. I just will say that the host, you, should always pay for the majority of stuff. I'm doing a potluck situation with my girls, but I am paying for the entree. I'm asking if they can contribute dessert or drink or a snack / appetizer or utensils, just because the bulk of the cost will be the entree, and so that is what I'll contribute, as well as decorations and everything else. Definitely keep that in mind. You, the host, should always upfront the majority of the cost, even if you do a potluck. The fourth step in planning a Valentine's Day party or other party is to decide on the games. Games, in my opinion, are the most important part of a party. Let's just say people ate before they came, right? Because the party's in the evening. They come to do what? Have fun. And I personally feel like games are an easy way to help people have fun at a party, especially if people don't know each other. If everyone doesn't know each other, it makes things less awkward because they don't have to like do small talk. There's an activity that kind of joins them together and takes up that time, makes things fun, helps people get to know each other. I love it. Personally, I recommend like a card game that has questions, something like We Aren't Really Strangers, or My Party I Bought a Ladies Night question card set from Ace Metaphor. He is a Black dating influencer on Instagram. He might be a YouTuber as well, I'm not sure. But he has his own card set, and I bought those just because I preferred his questions. But there are a lot of other like Girls Night In or for girls only types of card games that are just question based. And I'll leave again the links to those that I'm mentioning here down below. I prefer those card games over like board games just because those generate more of a full group engagement versus a 2-player, 4-player game if you have 10 plus people. I really dislike when people are doing kind of their own thing at parties, because those who don't know anyone else, there's always 1 or 2 people who don't know the other people, right? They're always by themselves, and I dislike that wholeheartedly. It really just makes me sad. So the way to combat that is to play games that does not require a certain number of people, but rather can include everyone. Also, those card games are a lot more mature. The age of your guests definitely matter. For my girls, we are in our 20s and early 30s, and so we don't need the little childish games, you know what I mean? We're here to talk, you know, real stuff, you know, get into it. So I prefer those games for that reason as well. But if you like board games and that's the vibe you're going for, by all means, but do keep in mind that there are people who are going to be waiting to play or not interested at all, and you don't want that. I recommend preparing 3 games per party, just because you never know if a game that you select is like a flop and no one enjoys it, and then you just feel the need to switch to the next game really quickly. Sometimes that happens. Definitely have 3, at least 3 in the queue. Also, maybe, you know, they really like the game and so you play very fast, and now the game is over because there's only so much questions to answer. Let's just say if you did the question card game, then you will have some others to also, you know, queue up, play. You do not have to stick to games. You can definitely do other activities. Some things that are great for a Valentine's Day party in particular, or Girls Night In, is karaoke, getting a karaoke mic and doing karaoke with a little liquor in your system. Girls feel really loose, and that's fine. You can definitely do karaoke. People love that. You can also do some type of like nail painting, or if you did a party in January, for example, you can do some vision board planning. You can do some painting. I've seen these not paint by numbers, but like paint and sip packs, kits that you can do at home, so you can definitely do that if you think your girls might be interested in that. There's a lot of activities that you can do. Definitely search for something that is more your vibe if talking is not something that you feel like your guests would enjoy. I personally think that everyone likes to talk and give their opinion on things, but definitely have things queued up. My 3 games or 3 activities that I plan to prepare are that card set by Ace Metaphor that I mentioned to you guys earlier. I am planning to do a truth or drink. I got that idea from YouTube, the popular trend that you see around that YouTubers do from time to time. And then I'm definitely gonna do karaoke. So those are my 3 activities for my Valentine's Day. I might think of a 3rd game, but we'll see. Definitely spend some time to think about that entertainment. Entertainment is key. If you're having a more formal party, you could think about getting a whole DJ. You might think about doing henna. You might think of doing a cartoonist. I'm just throwing out ideas, random ideas. They don't necessarily all fit Valentine's Day, but you get the picture. You definitely can think about doing stuff outside the box once you think about your vibe, have that vibe together, and know your budget. And last, and actually this is the most important step, I think, in planning a Valentine's Day party and party overall, hands down, is to prepare to be an attentive host on party day. What do I mean by that? I mean that you should keep an eye out at every guest at different times of the party. That means scanning the room often. That means looking at each person and just anticipating or watching to see if they're having a good time. One of my pet peeves in general for parties is when the host doesn't think about their guests. I do not like when I'm at a party and not everyone is included, not everyone feels included. And so when I host a party, I look at each and every guest. I promise you this. I do. No matter how big my party guest size is, I will look around the room, look at each guest, and make sure everyone's having a good time. If they're not, let's say they're in the corner, let's say they're on their phone, I go over to them and, make sure they're okay, ask them if they need anything, start conversation, encourage them to play, whatever it is. You know your friends, you know your guests. But it's super important to me as a host to make sure everyone feels comfortable because they came here in my space under my party and I am the host. So it's my responsibility to make sure they're having a great party time. Being an attentive host also means to, again, anticipate any issues that guests may have or any issues that may arise during their party. That means always looking to see if food is out, the drinks are out, if people know that all those things are out and available. If you see people not drinking water, maybe they might want water. Going around and handing out water bottles. Going around and offering people napkins because maybe they forgot to bring a napkin or maybe they need more. That might mean for the bathroom keeping a toilet spray or having the extra toilet paper being visible. This is normal hosting things, but in general for parties, you want to make sure that you are being as helpful as possible. That might mean putting out the Wi-Fi code or printing it up, making a sign, because people often ask for Wi-Fi when they're in your space for more than a minute. So having that available, making sure people know where the bathrooms are if you're having a party in a space that's not your house or just confusing or big. Make sure people know where the bathroom is by making an announcement. Tell people parking directions because parking may not be easy and you don't want a whole bunch of calls, a whole bunch of frantic, texts. So definitely anticipate all potential issues. Of course, you can't foresee everything that might arise, but definitely thinking about things that you can prepare for and preparing for those things from now. Extra napkins, extra toilet paper, hand sanitizer available. Whatever it is, just watch your guests while they're in the party. Make sure that they're having a great time. Be that host, be that friend, be the bridge that brings the party together at all times. That is your duty and something that I know guests will really love and appreciate because you were so attentive. I hope that these steps are super helpful for you if you're planning a Valentine's Day party this year or any other party that you may have. Let me know if you want other party planning videos because I honestly love event planning. Or if you have any questions, comment those down below. I definitely will answer them for you guys. And I hope that you all have a great February. January is an okay month for me, but I am praying for a better February for myself and for all of you. So like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you want to see more videos by me, my husband, or the both of us. And we will see you in our next video.